All right, got the chat over here. I'm seeing you guys right here. Okay, sorry about the quality. Got to be on my laptop today. Okay, listen, guys. Listen. So, Kevin Durant, there is some updated news. This is from Shams. And it says here, a Kevin Durant trade could happen in the next few days. And he mentioned the Heat, Timberwolves, and Rockets. So I did hear something, okay? But I want to start off by saying this, okay? It would have been beautiful if the Spurs were to get KD with what I know was offered, right? It would have been absolutely beautiful. But unfortunately, it seems as if another team is going to overpay. Now, I got a couple takeaways from this, all right? And I think that this is great news for us. I think this is fabulous news for us, okay? Because to me, this speaks to teams panicking, in my opinion. Specifically, the Timberwolves. They're the one that I'm really focused in on. Specifically, the Timberwolves. With the Rockets, I don't know if it's so much a panic, but I would wonder what the heck would the Rockets try to give up, right? Would they try to give up Shingun? Because I'll tell you this right now, the offer of what we know of, or what I know of, that the Spurs put forward was like very reasonable. But now we're in the territory of that you're getting a better deal than that. Okay, now we're cooking. So I have a couple takeaways. My first takeaway is the league is absolutely terrified of the San Antonio Spurs. And I know that sounds like a bias on my part, which maybe some of it is, but we do know this, right? We do know last year there was an NBA executive that straight up came forward and was like, yeah, we need to win now because Wembanyama is going to be absolutely ridiculous. It is not going to be fun. And this was a team that was actually in the playoffs at the time in the West, right? And it says right here, this is from Woj. She says, an executive whose team is in the playoffs said to me, the rest of us better get our winning out of the way fast. Once Wemby has a group around him in San Antonio, they're going to do a lot of winning. So I see this as we need to outbid the San Antonio Spurs. Like, we cannot allow the Spurs to get KD, still have their future, and just skate through this season and maybe win a couple playoff series. Like, we cannot afford that to happen right now because Wemby is nowhere near his prime, right? How good he's going to be is kind of scary. And then on top of it, it's like we only have this short period of time right now, right? I know that sounds like very condescending, or very maybe condescending is a word, but very arrogant of me to just think this way. But I do think that that's a legitimate takeaway, that teams are quite afraid and they do not want the Spurs to just get whoever. Okay, we already got a top 5 point guard in the NBA for nothing, and then we were really close to getting KD for a very reasonable deal, especially on our part. Very reasonable. So if that's the case, obviously teams are going to be a little shaken by that. They don't want that to happen. Yo, what? Yo, Clan looks different. It's just a different angle. Okay, it's just a different angle. So yeah, so there's that. Now, another takeaway that I have, and this is why I think it's great news for us. So we know that the league wants to go ahead and try to get their wins now, especially if you're looking at the Rockets and the Timberwolves. I mean, they have a pretty decent team right now, but the Timberwolves in particular, I'm really hoping they're the ones to grab them. Okay, I really hope they're the ones to grab them, because I really do believe that the Timberwolves are going to screw this up. Because in order to get KD at this point, it's looking like it's going to take a big chunk of your team, if you're them, all of your depth. The only reason why the Minnesota Timberwolves got as far as they did was depth. And if they try to trade away that depth to get KD, I think that's just a really bad idea, right? But that's a good thing for us. So ideally, I would like for him to go to the Timberwolves and then possibly sign an extension with them. And by the time that extension is up, and it's going to fall apart because that just doesn't make sense for them, by 2030, was it 2030? Yeah, 2030. I thought it was 2031 for a minute. But by the time that would blow up, we have a pick swap with them, right? It would be Dallas or Minnesota. But I think that this would definitely mean Minnesota got a few years and then it's a drop off. And during that drop off, that's when we can really take advantage. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay. If they were to get them, that's the best case scenario. Obviously, you know, the fan in me says, oh man, it'd be funny the Houston Rockets get them and they give up everything for them, to get rid of Şengün, do all this different stuff. Like, yeah, that'll be cute. That'll be funny. But at the end of the day, Rockets are well coached. And I just think with the Minnesota Timberwolves, that's what would actually help us. Right. So I'm just leaning back. And like I said before, the Spurs don't have to do anything. Like the KD situation, I was very excited for it because everyone and their mama knew how close the Spurs were. But at the end of the day, if that offer isn't good enough, they're probably getting some really great offers right about now. And great offers from two Western teams is good news for us because their situation, the Minnesota Timberwolves situation, isn't quite the same as our situation, right? Like our situation is we could have got KD if we didn't give up too much of our future, maybe one pick in the future. That wouldn't matter as much. I think it was the 27. Hold on, let me check myself. I think it was the 27 pick that we could have gave up. Oh wait, no, I was thinking of which one was I thinking of? 29? Okay, I would have hoped we gave up the 29. Yeah, I was hoping we gave up 29. More than likely, they would have won it. Yeah, they wouldn't have wanted the 29. But if the Spurs would have given up their 29, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal, right? Because I'm not expecting us to have a great draft selection at that point. Anyways, besides the point, sorry, went on a little tangent there. But I do think that this KD situation is good news. I do think it's good news. Does this mean Vassell is safe? From what I know, we could have kept Vassell with or without. But as far as him being safe, yeah, I would say so. Keep in mind, guys, the Spurs were hesitant. We got De'Aaron Fox. I don't think that really soaked in yet with a lot of fans. We got De'Aaron Fox. Hold on, let me put it on. Oh, crap. I messed that up. Let me put it on me. Yeah, there we go. Guys, we got De'Aaron Fox. He's literally one of the best point guards in the NBA, hands down. One of the best. And they didn't even give up Keldon. They gave up Trey Jones. Do you hear me? If the Spurs are this hesitant to give up Keldon Johnson, do you really think they'll just give up Devin Vassell for anything? Devin Vassell, I think on the market and from us, just how we feel about him, I think that his value is much higher than Keldon's. I really do. And if the Spurs were able to hold on to Keldon and still got this high caliber of a player, that means that it's going to take a lot for you to pry Devin Vassell from us. I don't think it's just going to be anything. Now, getting Kevin Durant, that would have been worth it. Especially if you don't have to give up the future. I just locked eyes with you and realized how serious you are. Talk to him. But yeah, so we're in a great situation. Obviously, I was really excited about it. All of us were pretty excited about it. But at the end of the day, you don't really have to do anything, right? Dylan Harper will be a star. That's something to keep in mind. I think that hasn't soaked in yet either. He will be a star. That's a really great player. And we're in a perfect situation still, right? We're in a situation where we can sit back and say, hey, you need us more than we need you. One thing, if you want to keep any type of hopium for the Kevin Durant situation, I'll say this. I wonder, Minnesota would be really dumb for this, okay? But some teams will do this. I wonder how they'll feel if Kevin Durant doesn't commit to an extension, right? Would they be content getting rid of their depth, which they probably would have to, in order to take Kevin Durant for a year? And if they're not content with that, maybe they back off, right? Maybe teams start to back off and like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if we should do this, right? Kevin Durant has named the Spurs as a team that he wants to go to. But if Kevin Durant's camp, if they force that and say, no, with the Spurs, I'll sign an extension. I'm not going to sign an extension anywhere else. They could push that. And if they were to push that, once again, the Spurs are sitting on their throne and they're like, hey, you need us more than we need you. Which we've been in that situation, but we don't have to go out of our way to get KD right now. We don't have to. I was content with the idea that, okay, we give up the 14th, you give up a player or two, maybe another future, and that would have been a steal for me. But yeah, Wimby clan, please stop. You must be trolling. What? Wimby clan, please stop. What? What we trolling about? Ace Bailey over Dylan Harper? I never said that. Oh, it must be somebody. Oh, okay. He talking about the dude named Wimby Chan. Oh, okay. I was like, I never said that. Oh, he said trade Fox for Kuzma. Yeah, he's trolling. All right, end the segment.